Hello and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. My name is Emily and I am glad you're here. Thanks for listening. Every so often I find out more people are listening than I realize. Like I see the numbers in my little stats collector on Anchor and I think like, oh, I think I know who, each of those 20 people are. And then I realize like, I don't think I do actually. So that's cool to know. If you're listening, thank you. I mean, if you're not listening, obviously you're not hearing this. So I could call you all kinds of names, get real nasty for all the people who were definitely not listening to this. I'm not going to do that, though. Anyway, I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you. So today's blog is called, Why, Yes, I Am Unhinged. Thank you for noticing. That's what it's called. I kind of like this title, and at least I like the sentiment of the title. So why don't I just read it to you? Here is, Why, Yes, I Am Unhinged. Thank you for noticing. Over the last couple of decades, in my sessions with my Rubenfeld synergist, I have found myself returning to a theme of keeping it together. Why do I think I have to clutch my thigh, immobilize my shoulder, turtle my neck? Because I must keep it together. Because I don't want to lose it. Everything might fall apart. I experienced my body as all buckled in, strapped together, contained by the proper restraint. Over and over, I have learned to allow myself to let go, and over I have returned to discover that I have contained myself again. My synergist will often ask something like, what would happen if you fell apart? What does losing it look like? And I had no idea. I have some idea now. And truthfully, it looks great. It looks like freedom. On a long walk after listening to Soraya Shamali talk about her book, Rage Becomes Her, my friend and I talked about the power of imagination, of art, of dragons, and how witchcraft made a man leave us alone just from a small hand movement and a funny whooshing noise. My friend said with obvious appreciation, "You're unhinged, in the best possible sense of that word." And I am. I am. I absolutely am, completely unhinged. And it feels like freedom. Unhinged is one of the many words we use to call people crazy, but it is most often applied to women. It has a soupçon of benevolent sexism in it, as if the person using it is minutes away from calling the funny farm. It also tends to be deployed to dismiss a woman expressing an opinion. The Republican senators call Kamala Harris unhinged whenever she calls them on their bullshit. Elizabeth Warren gets called unhinged for telling truths on the regular. Maxine Waters' incredibly calm, reclaiming my time moment also earned her an unhinged label, despite the logical, measured way that moment evolved. There's something about unhinged that suggests that if the person would just fall in line, just climb back into the slots of a door hinge, all would be well. Just calm down, little lady. You catch more flies with honey. Why don't you smile more? We'll just line up these hinges for you and you'll be back in your place in no time. I keep thinking of something that Rebecca Traister pointed out in Good and Mad, The Revolutionary Power of Women's Anger, and that is the language overlap of madness. That is, to be mad can mean being angry or crazy. And really, it's both. Because if a woman is angry, she is seen as crazy. Madness, that is anger in women, is seen as madness. That is craziness. Men's anger is seen as cathartic, the cleansing wind that gives us noble revolutions. Women's anger is seen as madness, no matter how righteous the cause. After all these years of being hinged, strapped in, appropriate, self-contained, I have released myself. I am unhinged. The straps with which I kept myself within the proper bounds have fallen away, and I have let go of a wide range of behaviors and norms that I just don't care about living up to anymore. I realize that all this makes me look unhinged, and I find that rather than being worried about it, I am delighted by that perception. I suspect that the line between crazy and free is much more narrow than we like to think. Maybe crazy just means refusing to accept society's unjust rules. I know that if I were living in the Victorian age, I'd have long ago been locked up for hysteria. Whether it would be my novel reading or my anger that would get me put away, I can't be sure. If I were feeling the way I'm feeling now in the Middle Ages, I would have long ago been burnt at the stake. Noncompliance is dangerous. To those who are attempting to reinvigorate the patriarchy, women who feel like me are nothing but trouble. I am unhinged, noncompliant, unbought, unbossed, undone, and free. After all those years of keeping it together, I have been set free. To some, that freedom looks like madness. A free woman may well be unhinged, but I think that's a compliment. I take it as one. But I also no longer really care what anyone else thinks. I'm free, that's it. You can't strap me in, hinge me down, and you can't convince me to do it to myself anymore either. So that's me, unhinged. But I have to say, my unhinging comes and goes. There are times where I feel completely like, woo, anything goes. And then other times where I just feel normal. Or I guess how I used to feel or something. Anyway, it's not 100% of the time, this unhingement. So one of the things that's funny about this particular piece is that this event of talking with my friend and her calling me unhinged was a little while ago. And I sort of thought about writing a piece about it. And it was just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of ticking away, but not going anywhere. And I thought, maybe I won't do it. And then I was trying to figure out a song for another podcast, and I stumbled across this song that I'm going to put here at the end called Undone by the Guess Who. And I just was like, oh, of course. Like, I have to write that piece because this song is the right song for the piece. So, like, it's a curious incident of the song propelling the blog into existence. It doesn't happen very often, but it's kind of a nice, I don't know, it's nice that things can come from many directions. And this is an example of that. I got motivated to write this piece because I remembered how much I enjoyed this song and also how right it was for the piece that I had in mind. So they kind of made each other happen, these two things. So it's this song I love, and it's weirdly spelled, which I did not know until I went searching for it. I thought the song was called She's Come Undone, which it's not. It's just called Undone, and Undone is spelled very strangely. It's spelled UNDUN. So if you're looking for it in its original form, that's why you can't find it. So that's a funny fact about this song. But you can't do that so much anymore, I don't think, because people are always searching for things. Like back in the day, right? It's just like on an album. You just play it. There's not like Googling the name of the song. So that's a change that I realized has probably happened. So put it here at the end in just a moment. Meanwhile, I will do my promotional duty and suggest that you follow me on Twitter, perhaps, at eRainbowD, or hang out, come to my website. I'm going to start a mailing list. This is a result of my time at Patreon, the Patreon conference, Patricon. Yeah, so if you want to know about things, I'm going to try and be better about telling people about things. And the mailing list is going to be the way to do that, which I'm going to have be a little pop-up on my website. So if you want to get on that mailing list, go there. It's emilyrainbowdavis.com. And other stuff, if you want to become a patron on Patreon, do please. I'd be delighted. I'm making some changes over there, so it should be a lot easier to do that before too terribly long. But if you get in now, you win a Heroes Award because it's a little complex and not everyone has the patience to kind of figure it out. But I would be delighted to see you at any point in that journey, either now or later. I have a phone conference scheduled for Wednesday to discuss it with the folks over at Patreon. So that's happening. And are there other things I need to tell you about? December 9th, I'm opening up a rehearsal process I just started on Measure for Measure. So if you've always wondered if there was a way to make Measure for Measure feminist, come. We'll be doing it in Queens and Long Island City. And I don't know if it will be, we're figuring it out. We're playing around, seeing what we can find with the few hours of rehearsal time we have. So if you want to come do that, come along. You're welcome. And those are all of the things that are happening. So here is Undone, originally by, guess who? Here now, played by me, where I am, in fact, longing for a real jazz guitarist to play it with me because I am not a jazz guitarist. I am a folk guitarist. But here you will hear a folk guitarist really doing her damnedest to be jazzy. And that is the truth. But I hope you enjoy it. This song is it's fun. And I one day would be fun to play it with a band. I need a band again. Sometimes I think I need a band. Not all the time, just occasionally. For a song like this. Anyway, here it is. Undone. She's come undone. She didn't know what she was headed for. And when I found what she was headed for, it was too late. She's come undone. She found a mountain that was far too high. And when she found out she couldn't fly, it was too late. It's too late. She's gone too far. She's lost the sun. She's come undone. She wanted truth, but all she got was lies. Came the time to realize, and it was too late. She's come undone. She didn't know what she was headed for. And when I found what she was headed for, Mama, it was too late. It's too late. She's gone too far. She's lost the sun. She's come undone. Too many mountains and not enough stairs to climb. Too many churches and not enough truth. Too many people, not enough eyes to see. Too many lives to lead and not enough time. It's too late. She's gone too far. She's lost the sun. She's come undone. Da 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 da. Yeah. It's too late. She's gone too far. She's lost the sun. She's come undone. She didn't know what she was headed for. And when I found what she was headed for, it was too late. She's come undone. She found a mountain that was far too high. And when she found out she couldn't fly, Mama, it was too late. It's too late. She's gone too far. She's lost the sun. She's come